Welcome to week 2 and to unit 2 of English 110. I don't know about all of you, but this last week was a bit of a whirlwind for me. Lots of technical difficulties over here, which is especially frustrating for me since I do like to think of myself as a tech-savvy person. So if it ever feels like the universe is holding you back and making things difficult for you, just remember that you're not the only one. And remember, too, that your instructors certainly are not exempt from the kinds of everyday headaches and technical difficulties that can get in your way. Now, before we dive into Unit 2, I'd like to take a moment and just share some of my observations from our first week of the course. So first, it was really great getting to see everyone's introductions in our Unit 1 discussion board and getting to know a little bit about you all. It seems like we have a wide variety of different backgrounds and experiences and perspectives in our class, and that kind of diversity lends itself really well to interesting and productive discussions. So I'm excited to see what will come up in our future discussions. It was also really great seeing some of you beginning to engage with one another. So please keep up that good work and that momentum. I do have a few general suggestions to keep in mind for future discussions. And again, these are general suggestions based on my observations overall, not based on any particular discussion posts. So first, please remember to use proper spelling and grammar so that your really great descriptions, your ideas, and your points will be clear and strong for your readers. So for example, be sure to begin each sentence with a capital letter and to conclude each sentence with some form of terminal punctuation. So either a period, a question mark, or an exclamation point. These will make it clear for your readers when you've reached the end of a thought and when you're moving on to a new one. Without those indicators, it can be tricky for a reader to follow along. Take advantage of the spell check feature in Google Docs or Microsoft Word or whatever word processing software that you may be using. Grammarly is also a great tool that's available to you as post students, so you can check that out as well. And of course, you can always reach out to me if you need help or you want feedback on something that you're writing. Another suggestion that I'd like to make is to pay careful attention to assignment instructions and to make sure that you're meeting all the assignment expectations. You want to be sure that you're not missing any required elements, and you also want to be sure that you're going about your task in the right way. Attention to detail is a skill. It's a life skill, really, not just an academic one, that will serve you well, not only in this course, but well beyond it. And again, not only in your academic life, but also in your personal and professional lives as well. And really, that's the goal of this course. That's the end goal of this course, right? To improve upon your writing skills in such a way as to set you up for success in whatever comes next for you. So with that, let's talk briefly about Unit 2, building an essay and finding reliable sources. So throughout this course, we'll be working toward the creation of an argument essay. And what I hope you'll begin to see is that each unit is an essential step toward that end goal. And on top of that, each unit will build upon what came before it. So overall, the course really functions as a step-by-step approach to your writing process of this particular product. In Unit 1, you practice using description and reflection to create a clear and engaging paragraph. However, even if you can make your points and your stance clear to a reader, that doesn't necessarily mean that they'll be convinced to agree with you. It's still on you as the writer to actually prove those points. And so that's what you'll be working on this week in Unit 2, as you learn about how to conduct research, how to differentiate between reliable sources and unreliable sources, and then having done that, how to incorporate evidence from those reliable sources into your own work, specifically in the form of direct quotations with in-text citations. And of course, you know that in this course, we are using APA format to guide how we format those citations. So ultimately, you'll be writing another paragraph as your major assignment for this unit. But this paragraph will be quite different from the one that you wrote for Unit 1, because rather than focusing on description and reflection, this paragraph will take the form of a response to a question that will require you to take a stance. The
question that you'll be asked pertains to one of the articles that you're going to be reading for Unit 2, the 5 C's of writing. And the stance that you're going to take is which of the 5 C's do you think is most important and why? Now, that'll make more sense, of course, after you've read the article. But I think what is key here is that you're not only going to be answering the question of which of the 5 C's you think is most important, you're not only taking that stance, but you're also going to be providing evidence from the article to support that stance.
This paragraph is also kind of a departure from what you've done up to this point, because rather than writing in the first person, so in other words, using pronouns like I, me, my, that kind of reflect your own perspective, you'll be writing in the third person perspective. So the assignment details and instructions are in Blackboard. The specific requirements are all there. So please take a look at those. Again, read them carefully. But of course, feel free to reach out to me if you need clarification on anything.
Now, one additional thing you'll be doing at the end of this unit that you didn't do in Unit 1 is you're going to be completing a journal response. Okay, so this is where you're going to be providing some reflection. Specifically, this time you're going to be reflecting on an article that you've read, and you're being provided with 2 specific questions to which you will respond. Now, the journal is graded on a pass-fail basis. It's completion points. So, in other words, if you do it and you do it according to instructions, you meet all the expectations, then you'll get all the points. The only reason that you wouldn't get the points for this is if you either did not do it or if you submitted something that did not actually respond to the questions and meet the expectations of the journal. So, hopefully that's a little reassuring because there's not all that pressure to meet certain aspects of a rubric that'll impact your score. But it does mean that you do need to maintain your focus on the questions, make sure you're answering them completely, and that you're answering them in sufficient detail.
By the end of this unit, you will have demonstrated your ability to find sources, to distinguish between a reliable and an unreliable source, to use direct quotations as evidence in your writing, and then to create in-text citations for those quotations. One final note, I'm beginning to grade your Unit 1 work today, so please be on the lookout for your scores and feedback within the next few days. It's my goal to have all of that back to you by the end of the day on Wednesday. So I look forward to seeing what you'll learn and accomplish throughout this coming week. And once again, please don't hesitate to reach out if I can be of any help.